So before this video starts, I want to apologize for not releasing it on Saturday. By the time we all got together to record it and finish recording, it was super late at night. And I knew that if I edited it and uploaded it, it wouldn't be up till around 12 or 1 a.m. So I decided to just release it today. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video nonetheless. Again, sorry for, again, not keeping my word. I seem to be very bad at that. But anyway, enjoy the video. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna start the video. There's no special intro.
Okay.
I'm just gonna introduce everybody.
Oh.
Alright, so first we got GGTJ, who we haven't seen in a long time. What's up?
I'm still not back. Okay. TJ sucks.
Yes, he's a ghost right now.
I'm still not back. I'll be back though.
I'll be
Never.
back.
Never.
I like the Terminator. I'll be back.
Don't cap on this video. You're not gonna be back. You're right. See?
Oh no, what is that?
Stop. I will leave.
Oh God.
Anyway, next up we got Charles Tucker.
Yes, me. Over 280 besides Travis. I think I'm the
And
only
ignoring that, next up we have Omega Zyro.
Oh, really?
The man, the myth, the legend, the one you've all been waiting for.
Yes. Ooh, they want to see me. Oh my God, I'm alive.
But anyway, what are we here to talk about?
You guys just link in the description.
We're here to talk about Deadpool.
Definitely not. GGTJ, what are we here to talk about?
Talking about the Black Spider-Man.
I have no idea what he just said.
He's black. We're here to talk about the subscribers, so let's do it, okay?
I got this. As the only person who has a Spider-Man mask in real life, I think we're here to talk about Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Yes, the Black Spider-Man.
I have a black Spider-Man mask. I am the black Spider-Man.
Dude, I saw some Spider-Man masks. Like, they looked realistic, and you know, they felt like the mask when you put them on. I really wanted them, but apparently they were too expensive.
They are expensive. I got a Luchador Spider-Man mask.
Is that a wrestling Spider-Man? Is that what?
It's like in the shape of it's in the shape of like if y'all have seen how Luchador masks work, it's in the shape of that, like but it's like the black suit, the symbiote suit design.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But back on topic. First thing I want to say about this game is I didn't expect it till next year.
Same.
I actually kind of knew it was gonna come because it was a sequel. 2018.
Actually, I heard that it's not a sequel, and I saw some information yesterday on IGN that explains it.
I haven't seen that video
it's not
yet.
A sequel.
I should have watched that video before recording this, honestly, but I haven't seen it yet.
Do you guys think it's a DLC though?
No, it's definitely not. That would be the most disappointing thing ever if the entire thing was DLC.
Really? It'd be like a big DLC though.
Can I jump in for a moment?
Go ahead.
Can I jump in? Alright, so I actually, when I watched the video, if I understood correctly, it's not DLC, and technically it's its own game, but it's going to be like not as long as the Spider-Man PS4 game, but it's not going to be super short, but it's going to be its own thing. If I remember the video correctly saying that. And
I don't think Miles had a big story, to be honest.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is true. But I believe, if I remember correctly from the video, don't quote me on this, but from what I heard, I know it's not DLC. I know that was explained for a fact, and it's not a sequel to Spider-Man, PS4.
Okay.
So I do know that much so far.
Good to know. Good to know.
One thing I want to know is who's the main villain in this game? Because they showed
I think it
this.
might be spread around.
Who?
I think he might be spread around characters, like spread villain. Like I don't think he there'd be like a focus on like Doc Ock. Like like in the Spider-Man, Doc Ock was like kind of like leading towards being the main focus of every the villain, as obviously it was. I think it's just gonna be like spread out, like Spider-Man just fighting this villain. He doesn't have a complete story to him and dedicated. I don't think it's gonna be like that. I think it's just gonna I'm gonna fight you next.
I feel like
episode of the Amazing Spider-Man.
I feel like definitely there will be like a concrete story, like obviously. And he's gonna have an objective, because if you remember from the trailer, Peter said something about remember what your father said, and basically I feel like Miles is definitely gonna go through lots of growth or something. He has to get over something,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking that my boys we have to have a whole origin, because camouflage and electricity, or Venom Strike.
Yeah, that Venom Strike is pretty clean.
Yeah. So I'm thinking we'll have to go through the story on how he was discovered. Maybe he will unlock powers as you go through the story. He was scared, or at one point where he unlocked camouflage, or he was upset and mad, and you unlock parts of his powers through the story. That's I think what's gonna happen.
Oh, okay.
The thing I wonder is how are they going to be implemented? Because if you could just turn invisible whenever, that would be pretty broken. Unless, the only time it wouldn't work is, of course, when you're fighting a boss. That's the only time it wouldn't work.
I feel like it's gonna work just like how the special moves do in
it works for a limited time, and you can use it. You can't just use it all day. You have to wait for it to build it back up.
Right.
Yeah,
I feel like it'll be the suit power, in PS4.
Maybe you can get mods or something like that. I'm thinking they might have enemies that can detect you through camouflage, because they do some of that. The villains have special goggles.
Oh yeah.
You can see, and you're not completely
Yeah, because
or some people have armor,
Yeah, because he's invisible, but he still has a heat signature.
Right.
Oh, and remember that trailer, right? We saw somebody with a special weapon while Miles was on the ground.
Yes, that dude.
He
I don't know
actually might be the main villain, actually.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem familiar. I don't know who he is.
He doesn't. Yeah.
Exactly. They might make a whole new villain just dedicated to that specific Spider-Man. They don't even have to be dedicated to the comics or something like that. They're made up own villain, because they could surprise us all.
I remember to go off. Well, it's technically still on topic, but if we go back to Spider-Man PS4, I remember. I'm gonna be completely honest. I thought Mr. Negative was someone new until I did some research. I'm like, oh, he's been in the comics before.
Maybe they might bring somebody from the comics that nobody really knew about, and he becomes really popular in the story.
I mean, that's what they did with Mr. Negative, pretty much.
Exactly.
I know Mr. Negative, but that's just because I'm a nerd when it comes to all things Marvel. I have 2 Marvel encyclopedias in my room that I've read cover to cover at least 3 times.
How much time do you have?
I had a lot of time back when I was 13.
Wow. Oh, 13. I had this one time when I was just chilling at my dad's house, and we was watching Jeopardy, and somebody picked Marvel, and I was able to answer all of them, and my family just looked back at me just why are you there? I'm eating Black Panther, Spider-Man, Iron Man.
And
Matt-
by Odin's beard, Thor.
Yes. Yes. Wow.
Prince of Asgard.
But one thing one thing that confuses me, it goes back to what you said, Nigel, about how in the beginning of the trailer, Spider-Man says a hero's just someone who never gives up. That's what your dad said. That's a quote from the Spider-Man game we all know and love. So if this is not a sequel and it's its own standalone game, one, where did Miles get the training to become Spider-Man? Because in the first game, he was asking Peter to train him, and we see that he has a whole suit and that he can actually, he doesn't really need training anymore. And why would they use a quote from the... Please no. Like, that's why I said in my playthrough, I always get nervous whenever Miles shows up, because that means Peter's about to die.
Bro, but like, why would Peter, maybe he retires, but why did Peter be like,
He's not going to retire. What are you talking about?
Could have said that on his deathbed. He could have said that while retirement. It's 2 ways, bro. 2 ways.
But like, why would they do all this and it's not a sequel? Like, that's the thing that I can't understand.
I actually, if I can jump in for a second, this is what I would think. In the IGN video that I saw, they mentioned something about the Spider-Verse.
Oh.
And how this could lead
really
up to
this.
a Spider-Verse video game. And like like it could be like this Spider-Man Miles Morales could be a standalone, and then like it could lead up to like maybe we could get Spider-Gwen standalone game.
Oh, so then...
And maybe somebody else,
No.
And then that could all lead up to a Spider-Verse game, like you play as everybody, and then like and like there's also, I don't know if y'all noticed from the comics, but what was like the Carnage War or something? Like something happened.
Yeah, there was like a Carnage Apocalypse.
Yeah, a Carnage Apocalypse where the Spider people got together. They could do something kind of similar to that.
Now, the question is...
That would be a huge game,
if
though.
they did do that, would we be all able to play like an online experience like Avengers has?
I mean, if you
that
really...
would be cool.
Like, the way Avengers is set up, it's not like you have a bunch of people just running around the city. You can specifically go on online missions like in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So maybe...
No, but what if they...
I don't
what
see
if they
them...
like do it where you could just sing it around the city? That'd be cool.
I don't see them putting it to where you can choose your Spider Person and go to online play, and then you have like hundreds of thousands of Spider-Men just swinging all over the place.
Well, not like that. I mean, like you have like specifically like choice, like you can only choose. You have like let's say like 4 people on your team or something like that, like out of the Spider-Verse characters.
I mean, that could work.
Another thing. Well, one other thing I want to say is in the trailer of Spider-Man, you see how Miles Morales has like a more freestyle, playful type swing style. I don't know if you guys know it, because like
because like Spider-Man was just swinging as like a pro. You can do tricks with him, but they weren't any type of out there tricks. Just barrel rolls.
Yeah, like
jump.
Yeah. Those like party tricks, but out here Miles, he's doing a whole. He has like you can tell he's a playful character more than like a serious character. Like they did. Well, Spider-Man wasn't really a serious character. He was more, but he wasn't like playful as too. Like you could tell. There's like a difference in like Miles.
There was definitely a difference in Miles and Peter, but not too off. There's definitely if we go back to his swinging, like in those few shots where we saw Miles swinging his webs, it does look like he swings differently. Like I think it's borderline going to be the same, but some aspects look different. Like they did change it up to probably fit more of Miles' personality.
Now Miles lives in where does he live? He lives in
apartment.
No, like you know how like Spider-Man Queens, right?
I don't know where Miles lives. I know Spidey's in Queens.
I thought Miles was Brooklyn. Well,
yeah. He was, because in the movie he said Brooklyn.
In the movie he said exactly. I was thinking the same thing.
Okay, well, I'm thinking like when he was swinging in them shots, he was in Brooklyn, and that might be like another part of the city where you can go to the actual main city.
Oh wait, if we think, okay, going back to like the game area, could we be in it like what part was where were we in Spider-Man PS4 the first one?
You could go
Where
anywhere.
was our? You can go anywhere. We could go in Brooklyn there too, right?
Yeah, you can go. You can
Brooklyn?
explore the entire New York Island.
Yeah, the entire New York Island. Yeah, but I feel
Have
like
you ever played Ultimate Spider-Man?
it's gonna be different a little bit. I did
Ultimate
play.
Spider-Man.
I did play Ultimate. I feel like I did.
I don't think I
And
did.
you know, Ultimate Spider-Man, you can go in different. He had like a suburban area.
Oh
He had-
yes.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I did play Ultimate Spider-Man. Yep, I remember that game.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Isn't that the one where you could play as Spider-Man and Venom, right?
And eat kids
Yeah.
and Venom, which was I don't know.
You
why
could
they
eat
put that.
people as Venom. I was like, bro.
Like okay.
Oh, it's the one where you could choose.
Real quick. We haven't heard too much from Charles. We can give you the floor. You know, your thoughts, if you have any, if you're here.
Charles.
I have a phone. He like right? I mean, I just saw the trailer. Not too long ago before we started this video, I was listening to you guys' thoughts.
Okay, but you got any input?
You
Man,
you have any expectations?
Yeah, any expectations for the game? Yeah.
But from watching the trailer, it looks really interesting. But my question is, so I might be lost on this because I'm not like a really huge Spider-Man fan as you guys are, and no offense. But whatever happened with Peter?
That is the big question. We don't
Yeah.
know if he's dead, retired, or.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
possible
why-
answers.
But I don't remember if it was the last Spider movie or something. I think the last Spider movie that's animated with Miles. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong right there, actually, on that one. But yeah, like I just watching the trailer, it doesn't make no sense. Like whatever happened to Peter after his run.
I think, like I said, whenever I see Miles in anything, I always get scared because that means Peter's going to die. So it's a possibility that Peter is dead in this game.
But I wonder who is Miles' dad. I thought Miles' dad was Peter, but who knows? Probably he'll reveal it.
He died.
He died?
No.
In the
No.
story, he died.
Let me.
Wait, what was the question?
Also, bring this. Let me bring this back to real quick back to everyone's attention. How, this Spider-Man, I guess you could say, universe has a whole new story, and there's different outcomes. Like in this one, spoilers to whoever did not play Spider-Man PS4 or seen the ending.
I didn't do the DLC. That's all.
She usually never dies, pretty much.
Oh,
MJ?
right.
Interesting.
Aunt May.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, Aunt May usually never dies, but she died in the video game.
Really?
Oh yeah, they actually might add a twist. They might actually add a twist in the story.
Man, that was sad. That was sad when that happened.
I was sad because I didn't expect that. Because I'm like, Aunt May doesn't die. What do you mean she's dead? What do you mean what?
I thought she was gonna it was that choice that Peter had to make. Save the rest of the people, or just save them. Yeah, it's a hard choice. But
You don't really think about how much Spider-Man as a pretty much vigilante, as a standalone hero, doing all this by himself has to deal with. You got guys like the Avengers as a whole. They have what's it called? They have things that to deal with as well, but it just seems like Spider-Man has a lot more.
Right.
I definitely feel that, especially since he had to deal with this since he was a teenager.
Oh yeah, ever since he was
Since he
15.
was 16? Yeah, so he's been dealing with this. He's dealing with lots of hardship and struggles, and he's been through a lot more than anyone, really. I mean, there's probably other examples I could I could bring up that you could bring up, but I feel like he's one of them that has been through like a lot, like a whole lot.
Oh, wait a minute.
What's that?
Sequel. If it's not a sequel, then that means it wouldn't be following the Spider-Man PS4 game story.
So one more thing about this sequel, or not a sequel. At the end of the game, at the very end, after the credits, Miles shows Peter that he has powers, which leads to you saying, "Oh, that means there's going to be a number 2." So why isn't this a sequel? Is my question.
I feel like it could not be a sequel because they probably want to work. Because I remember first when remember how you mentioned the ending of the first Spider-Man game, and but the thing with Harry, him having I'm bringing up Harry with his cancer and stuff, and he was in that that place, that secret chamber of Osborn's, and was that the symbiote? I think that was the symbiote.
It might have been.
It might have been. But here's the thing I want to bring up though. Some fans were asking "Yo, why isn't the symbiote suit in here?" And then
they replied saying we're going to save it for the next game.
For the next game, yeah. So I feel like this isn't a sequel
because of that.
Because of that, so they want to give us this Miles stuff to hold us off till they finish making the sequel.
Oh, I know what they're going to do. So Miles and Spider-Man are their own games, right? First is Spider-Man 1,
right.
Peter Parker, then Miles Morales. It's not like they're going to both be their own series, at least that's what I'm thinking. I think that Miles is going to have his own adventure, and then the next game is going to be just Spider-Man, but it's going to connect both Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales' story together. So instead of it being a sequel, it's its own game, but it leads to the third one.
It leads to okay, that's actually not a bad theory right there.
Yeah, not bad theory.
You hear that? It came from Omega Zyro himself. Smash like and subscribe to everybody.
Yeah, subscribe to my channel, Road to 300. 6 feet trusses.
So I was actually watching the Miles Spider-Man trailer just now, and I was looking at something. Okay, obviously when it's first starting, he's doing something.
He's pushing something back.
Tears off his skin. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
No, that's his suit.
His suit. Yeah. And I think it's some type of destruction.
Rated R.
Yes.
Then I'm not playing it.
I don't want to see no skin being ripped off. I like this guy.
Skin. I said skin. Wow. But obviously, his suit ripped off, so there's always something more powerful. This seems to be something at the end, and end of the story in Miles. Also, I was also pausing and looking at some, and the purple thing that we saw, that sword that popped up when he was on the floor.
I think it's a hammer, personally.
I think that was just a regular goon. Because after it switched to somebody, with the same gear on, and he just attacked them with a special move. So I'm thinking they might be selling this tech to random goons, and Miles trying to do something about it.
Now, let me ask you this question. How likely do you think we will see, the Prowler in this game?
How likely?
Well,
I wouldn't say high. I wouldn't say highly. I wouldn't say it's highly likely because the Prowler was in the Spider-Verse movie, sure, but the Prowler is a little known Spider-Man villain, and at that, it's a Spider-Man villain.
True.
And for it to, I feel like based on the first game, they're trying to be really creative. So I don't think they're going to copy off the movie and make the Prowler his uncle.
Right.
So if the Prowler is in it, it's not going to be his uncle. At least that's what I think.
I was thinking the same. I definitely was thinking the same.
Yeah.
So let's see. So this is another question I had. Me and Takori touched on it a little bit, but do you feel like they would like you get to play as Miles? Do you feel like just like how in the first Spider-Man PS4 game you could change into different suits? Do you think Miles would get that option, or do you think he would only stay with his regular suit, or they might give him the Spider-Verse suit as well, or the suit with the hoodie on? Do you think
That's the one I want
that?
the most. I just want the hoodie.
Probably so. I think so.
I wanted him with the ones.
Charles, what were you trying to say?
Like beginning of the game or like later on in episode or something. Then yeah.
Oh yeah, cause if this is what I think it is, then yeah, Miles will most likely start off with the hoodie, like Charles just said, because he won't have a full suit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
that's the way we're thinking.
I feel like this game is going to be Miles's growth as Spider-Man, like how the Spider-Verse movie was. So maybe he won't just start off with a suit, because I feel like that would be too boring, if I want to say that.
Probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. It could probably just out of a Spider-Verse movie or something.
But even if he was able to change costumes, I only see 3 costumes that Miles wears. Peter Parker, there have been many different Peter Parkers. There have been there have been many different versions of Peter Parker, so of course he's gonna have a lot of suits. But Miles, however, there's only been one Miles.
So it depends, you know. Even if they have to put another movie for Miles, and we'll see, or possibly a show or something.
We've actually talked about this a bit longer than I thought we would. We're at 26 minutes.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Oh, hi everybody.
You already said your introduction, but he forgot.
Yeah, and I gotta keep on still doing it. Okay, people, I think just before we wrap it up, make sure you guys do subscribe. Yes. I think I'm the only one that here's got the most subscribers than everybody. Could be wrong. Alright.
I think TJ still has 100 and something, 114.
It's 114, yeah.
I'm at 281. Hey, I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
I could be.
Before we ended it, I had one more thing to address, but I forgot what it. Oh, do you think the big Green Goblin, Miles as Green Goblin will show up in this game?
Big boy gob?
Exactly.
I definitely think so.
I would think so if it wasn't for my theory earlier about these 2 games leading to a third one that connects both. Because Miles fighting the Green Goblin by himself would be cool, but at the same time, if he does that, will we still get Venom somehow? Because I feel like Venom would come from Osborn. But, that's just my thinking. My whole theory could be wrong. But anything else anyone wanted to address?
I'm thinking. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think another thing I guess I wanted to kind of address would be I really hope that Peter isn't dead, but it's a possibility. Almost, like anything is, like everything is a possibility.
Well, look at it this way. If Peter's dead, my entire theory's out the window.
True.
See, I don't know about this thing, but I saw in the trailer where Miles was just walking down the street, and I don't know if that was just a cinematic cutscene or if it was the actual gameplay.
I think it was a cutscene.
As, Miles? Question mark?
Yeah, I think it was a cutscene.
What if it wasn't?
Oh, if it wasn't, could you think that could have been a finisher? I didn't talk about that, like finishers, like Miles having different new finishers.
Oh yeah, he does,
Talk
because
about that, maybe.
because we saw one of his finishers was he like swung into the enemy and kicked him, and another one was he was invisible and he hit him with his electric powers.
Right.
Right.
So I'm glad they got new finishers, because if we got the new game and there weren't new finishers, I feel like some of us would be put off a little by that. We still love the game, but you know.
My wallet sad noises.
Same. My wallet has sad noises right now because 1, buying the PS5, 2, buying Avengers, and 3, buying Miles Morales. Yep.
Wow.
We all know that we're probably not gonna be able to get this game until 2021.
It's probably going to come out like in December, right before 2021. So maybe, like.
Oh,
I mean, it said holiday 2020.
Yeah, but do you really think it's going to come out in like
Yes.
in 2 months?
We'll see how long the world is still around and the protests are still around for. Then we'll find out the answer by then.
I saw these protests. Somebody breaking in GameStop and actually gets the new Spider-Man game with the PS5 bundle and just say,
Well, we're gonna make a video about that when that happens.
Wait,
Sure, next video idea.
Wait, I don't know why I couldn't hear what TJ said.
Well, he said, what if somebody actually bought the game with the PS5?
through a protest.
Yeah. Minneapolis is definitely gonna do it, no doubt. They're destroying the city already, so.
Mini-app. Maybe they're not even gonna get any, restocks.
Probably so. I mean, if they keep up what they're gonna do, then yeah.
I saw so many videos on Minneapolis being like the last cop in Minneapolis right now, and they just in a war, and this man's trying to survive.
Wow. Okay, so what do you guys think? Should we think that we should do a video of Minneapolis next?
We should talk about the PS5 next.
The PS5.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Okay, but if we do that, that's gonna go on Omega Zyro's channel or Charles' channel or something, because I'm only editing one video tonight.
Okay.
I feel you on that.
Schedule your times and stuff, and then we'll just go from there.
Wait, send what?
I said schedule your time date when we're gonna do it.
Oh.
I mean, if everyone wants to do it right now, we could do it right now.
No, I'm joking. No, not right now. You crazy?
Yeah, he's like, no, please, no.
But okay. All right, so this is the closing. Charles, you first. Do you have anything to say?
I got nothing to say. Oh, except subscribe to my channel.
Subscribe mostly in description. Both channels. Let's go.
Leave a like on the Corey's channel. I come to your house.
TJ said, or I'll come to your house.
Not coming back to YouTube.
He'll steal your bed. And I'll take your memes. I'll steal your memes.
Yes.
And I'll take the potatoes.
Right potatoes, man.
Because
Potatoes is his thing. That's why. Because potatoes are good, Charles.
Really?
potatoes.
So should we all go get some potato sacks after this recording?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Potatoes.
I'm already one step ahead of you. I got a big potato on right now.
Okay.
But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. We talked about Spider-Man. And be sure to subscribe to everyone. Subscribe to Charles Tucker, both his channels, GGTJ, and Omega Zyro.
Actually, all three. There's three, actually. There's three channels.
You have a third one now?
Yeah, you should have known this, man. It was on your, I forgot which video it was on, actually, that we did together. I think it was the Mario Kart or the Smash Bros. Video.
Wait, I thought that was your first channel.
No. The first one got 280. The other one's close to 60.
Man, that's 3 channels. I'm struggling with one. The Twitch channel's doing good, though. We just hit 80 subs on Twitch.
80 subs?
Must be nice.
Wow. That's really nice. I don't use Twitch, but
I don't like it.
All right, guys, this is where we all say our outros at the same time.
I have no outro. I disappeared.
Alright. Peace and
After the fire mission attack.
Yeah, all that stuff. And like, subscribe, and the bye.
Catch you guys later.
See ya. Suck me.